I wanted to ask you a few
Some
questions
yeah.
about why did you decide to write about that subject?
The impulse or the compulsion to do it.
For years, one woman has stood silently on the outskirts of the royal spotlight. Annabel Elliot, Queen Camilla's younger sister. Annabel, a noted interior designer and very private lady, has rarely spoken publicly, let alone about the crown. While Camilla worked her way from scandal to kingdom, Annabel remained in the background, cautious and silent, always just out of the tabloids' reach. But suddenly that hush ended. According to bombshell new disclosures from royal insiders and close family confidants, Annabel Elliot has now broken her silence, and what she supposedly said about her sister has thrown Buckingham Royal into full confusion. It started slowly and almost innocently. A quiet talk in a country house, several glasses of wine, no press, no cameras, just a reputable corporation. But someone was listening. Someone released it. Within 48 hours, reports of Camilla's sister just told the truth had spread like wildfire among royal watchers. What was the subject of that conversation? Damning. "She's not the woman the world thinks she is," Annabel allegedly stated. "She's changed. Or maybe this is who she was all along." Words like that may not make news for a typical public figure, but what about the Queen Consort's sister? For someone who has been Camilla's closest ally since childhood, raised under the same roof, and witnessed every tragic story from Charles to Diana and the throne, these words go deeper than any newspaper ever could, and the palace is fully aware of this. Behind closed doors, aides are attempting to control the story. Questions are swirling. Did Annabel actually mean what she said? Could there be more? Has the Queen's oldest confidant finally turned against her? Or worse, does Annabel intend to divulge much more of what she has seen beyond the monarchy's curtain? For years, the firm has relied on loyalty, confidentiality, and silence. But now it appears the silence is cracking from within. And, unlike tabloid rumor or nameless courtiers, this treachery comes from someone whose words cannot be ignored. Because Annabel Elliot is more than just a royal relative. She is a witness to Camilla's ambitions, to her ruthlessness. Private power plays were never seen by the general public. And now she's talking. This is the story of the sister whom the palace kept quiet until now. And if what she's disclosed is even half accurate, Queen Camilla's carefully constructed legacy could be on the verge of collapse. Long before the scandals, crowns, and palace intrigue, Camilla and Annabel Shand were just sisters, two daughters of the wealthy Shand family, raised in the elegant society of Britain's upper class. Their childhood consisted of fox hunts, debutante balls, and finishing schools. Even in those early years, there was a noticeable gap between the two. Camilla, strong and gregarious, always at the center of attention, and Annabel, calmer and more attentive, the shadow to her sister's spotlight. Their father, Major Bruce Shand, was a decorated Waltrue officer with royal ties. Their mother, Rosalind Cubitt, descended from the landed nobility. The Shand sisters grew up learning the importance of discretion, loyalty, and social decorum, lessons that would shape the rest of their lives. Camilla has always thrived on charm and connection. She had a talent for winning people over and breaking social rules without appearing to break them. Even as a teenager, she exuded a playful confidence that enchanted everyone around her. Annabel, meanwhile, stayed in the background. She was artistic, thoughtful, and introspective, preferring interior design and family life over champagne toasts and royal whispers. But as Camilla rose through the ranks of British high society, finally taking on one of the most contentious royal roles in recent history, Annabel watched from afar, always supportive but mute. Their closeness was unmistakable. Even throughout Camilla's most difficult times, her affair with Prince Charles, Princess Diana's murder, and public outrage, Annabel stood by her side, never speaking out or challenging the official narrative. In fact, while the press lambasted Camilla, Annabel was reported to be one of her few emotional safe havens, a continuous presence expressing silent loyalty behind closed doors. Their bond extended beyond family. Camilla eventually welcomed Annabel into the royal inner circle. She was appointed a trustee of the Prince's Foundation and frequently joined Camilla on private retreats and family vacations. The two were known to be close, with some even saying inseparable. In a kingdom that valued silence above all else, Annabel became Camilla's most valuable asset, a vault of secrets sealed shut with blood. However, those close to the sisters spoke of something deeper, a silent unease that increased over time. Camilla's private demeanor apparently changed as her public role developed. She became harder, a family friend stated, less forgiving. Annabel, a keen observer, detected something less human, but she didn't say anything. Not till today. Annabel's claimed comments are terrible not only because of what she knows, but also because of who she is. She is the only person alive who has seen Camilla from beginning to end, from naughty debutante to queen consort. Charles's secret girlfriend rose to become the monarchy's most influential woman. She was present when the world despised Camilla. She was present when the palace relaunched her. And, most crucially, she was present while Princess Diana suffered in silence. Annabel is now speaking for reasons that no one really understands. Some call it guilt, others describe it as frustration, maybe even self-preservation. But whatever the motivation, the veil has lifted, and the woman who had vowed never to speak publicly about her sister has revealed something the palace cannot ignore. Annabel Elliot has spent her life as a faithful shadow. Shadows, however, can see everything. They communicate with awful clarity. Camilla may have risen to the throne. However, the one person who knows her best, her sister, may also be the one to bring it all down. Because when family members tell the truth, the rest of the world listens. And now, the world is listening to Annabel Elliot. The moment was never intended to be public. A nice evening with old friends in the Cotswolds, wine pouring, laughter ringing off the stone walls of an old rural manor, and the kind of discourse that only occurs when reputations are safe behind closed doors. But this wasn't simply idle conversation. It was the moment Annabel Elliot, Camilla's extremely secretive sister, supposedly let the truth out. And what she revealed has sent the palace reeling, insiders astonished, and the public questioning all they thought they knew about Queen Camilla. She isn't the woman she claims to be. Not anymore, Annabel reportedly informed the table. Or maybe that was always who she really was. Those unsettling statements, revealed by a source close to one of the guests, set up a firestorm. According to the source, Annabel wasn't being nasty or calculated. If anything, she sounded exhausted and resigned. It was as if years of witnessing her sister manage, maneuver, and hide herself had suddenly come to an end. Annabel allegedly described Camilla as addicted to control, concerned with beauty and prestige to the point where even close family members felt disposable. You have to understand, she never lets things go. Annabel is supposed to have commented, not slights, insults, or even old gossip. Everything is calculated, even kindness. But it wasn't simply the character critique that stunned the audience. That was what Annabel said about the past. One attendee recalled her voice becoming quieter when she addressed Princess Diana. "We all saw it," she muttered. "We saw how broken Diana was, how secluded, and we remained quiet." Another source believes Annabel intimated that Camilla showed no remorse during those years, simply annoyed that public opinion had turned so harshly against her. While the world grieved Diana, Camilla apparently focused on mending her own image, not pondering, apologizing, or taking a step back. Diana was a storm Camilla waited out, Annabel allegedly stated. And when the world calmed, she slipped right back into place, closer to the crown than ever. The dinner talk, which was intended to be private, quickly spread like wildfire among aristocratic circles. Within days, the information had reached courtiers. Within a week, Buckingham Palace was aware. According to sources, Camilla felt blindsided, furious, and betrayed. This wasn't some royal correspondent spouting wild allegations. This was her own sister, a lady who had remained loyal despite decades of controversy, had never talked to the public, and had defended her privately at all times. And yet in one evening, she apparently said more than all of the tabloids combined. What caused this rapid shift? Why now? Speculation is prevalent. Some believe Annabel became more dissatisfied with Camilla's use of her queen position, which included promoting her own family, advocating for titles, and supposedly attempting to gain royal status for her grandchildren. Others believe Annabel's developing fondness for Kate Middleton, a woman often compared to Diana, prompted her to dwell on the past and confront her own culpability. Whatever the reason, the outcome is clear. Camilla's most faithful voice is no longer silenced, and what she allegedly stated endangers Camilla's carefully managed image, which she has worked so hard to establish. As of now, the palace has declined to comment. However, insiders say Camilla has privately requested clarity from her sister, and that communication between the two has completely stopped. One source expressed it clearly. The Queen is outraged. More than that, she is afraid. When your sister starts talking, who knows what else she has been keeping quiet? In the House of Windsor, silence has always been valuable, and Annabel Elliot simply devalued it in one night. For decades, the public perceived Camilla as the other woman, a scandal-plagued mistress, hated by Diana supporters, and dismissed by many as an unfit spouse for the future king. Few realized how calculated, systematic, and unwavering Camilla's ascension to the throne was. Behind the carefully controlled grins and distinctive pearls was a woman who never wanted to be overlooked, not by the firm, not by public opinion, and certainly not by history. According to Annabel Elliot's recent disclosures, Camilla not only survived the scandal, but also strategically ascended to the crown. Camilla was thrown into the global spotlight after Princess Diana's dramatic BBC interview in 1995, in which she notoriously stated, "There were three of us in this marriage." Instead of retreating, she adapted. Her public relations were revised, her public appearances became less frequent, and the palace launched a methodical, meticulous attempt to repair her reputation. But, according to sources, the campaign was not created only by royal courtiers. Camilla spearheaded it. She knew exactly what she was doing, a former royal aide admitted. She played a long game. While Diana dazzled the world, Camilla formed alliances within the palace gates. One of her strongest weapons? Silence. Camilla was collected, whereas Diana had been very raw. Camilla let criticism stew until the media became bored, while others reacted angrily. While many felt she was fading into the background, Camilla was making calls, developing relationships, and gaining loyalty. Her sister Annabel was said to be one of her closest confidants during this time. According to recent rumors in royal circles, Annabel experienced personally how Camilla would quietly sideline anyone she perceived as a threat, even inside the family. If someone didn't serve her endgame, they were politely removed, one source explained. Not with drama, but with strategy. Even Charles, famed for his emotional indecision, was no match. Those close to him alleged Camilla became his emotional anchor, influencing his public pronouncements, structuring his inner group, and finally persuading him to pursue her queen title, despite widespread opposition from Diana's supporters. Years later, when Queen Elizabeth II stated that it was her sincere wish that Camilla be acknowledged as queen consort upon Charles's ascent, many assumed it was her own idea. But insiders believe Camilla lobbied tirelessly behind the scenes, leveraging decades of quiet influence to secure the last stamp of legitimacy she had long sought. Nonetheless, even after achieving what no mistress in royal history had ever done, a coronation, Camilla's desire for power would not subside. Staff at Clarence House and Buckingham Palace observed an immediate alteration. Requests became orders. Appearances were carefully arranged. Notably, her efforts to elevate her own children and grandchildren to royal status intensified. It was clear she wanted more than just the title, a former courtier said. She desired to include her bloodline in the fold. She intended to rewrite the family tree. According to insiders, this may have been the last straw for Annabel. Annabel could no longer deny watching her sister utilize the monarchy as a stepping stone to personal legacy, even if it meant alienating William, Kate, and Diana's memory. Her current words, therefore, are more than just a betrayal. Some describe them as a confession, a subtle admission that Camilla's entire rise was not just ruthless, but also planned at the expense of other people's pain. It's no surprise Camilla was furious when the private remarks were revealed, because she knew better than anyone that her power was always based on perception. And once that crumbles, everything else follows. Camilla did not come into contact with the monarchy by accident. She climbed into it, one deliberate move at a time. And now, as those closest to her begin to speak up, the public is finally realizing how difficult and ruthless that journey was. For all the whispered comments and private statements Annabel Elliot may have made about her sister Camilla, none were as emotionally charged as those surrounding Princess Diana, because at the core of this royal storm, beyond the headlines, the throne, and the betrayals, is a woman whose agony was evident to the world, and another who remained quietly on the sidelines, watching everything unfold. Annabel and Camilla were not simply sisters. They were united by a code of familial loyalty, a common background, and a lengthy tradition of caution. However, when tested against Diana's level of pain, loyalty and silence become deadly qualities. And by her own apparent admission, Annabel now bears that burden. "We watched it happen," she reportedly told a friend in a discussion that has now become history. "We saw how she was unraveling, how hurt she was, and still, we said nothing." These statements are more than just remorse. They represent a glimpse into a conscience that has finally awakened after decades of obedience. According to family sources, Annabel's quiet during the Charles-Camilla-Diana triangle tormented her, particularly following Diana's sad death in 1997. It was no longer just a scandal. It became about a woman who never received justice and a sister who decided to defend power over the truth. Annabel was thought to know more than most. She was present during the Camilla Gate recordings. She was present when Charles disclosed his infidelity to the world. She was present when Diana sat alone in the seats of St. Paul's Cathedral, as well as when her coffin moved through Hyde Park, where hundreds of mourners gathered. Annabel remained the faithful sister throughout, quietly supporting Camilla and shielding her from further embarrassment. Something changed on the inside, however. Those close to Annabel describe a deep conflict, a lady divided between her love for her sister and a rising sense of moral responsibility. According to a longtime friend, Annabel frequently avoided talking about Diana. It was like a locked drawer in her mind, they explained. She would not go there, and if you did, she'd change the topic or shut down. But in recent years, that drawer appears to have crept open. It struck a chord to witness Kate Middleton rise with grace, as well as William and Catherine safeguarding their children from the same turbulence their mother experienced. According to one insider, Annabel has become more thoughtful, even mournful, about her previous career. "Diana never stood a chance," she reportedly said over brunch last autumn. "She was overly open, too human, and we were too afraid to defend her." The fact that these alleged words come from a witness, rather than a reporter or a biographer, makes them very combustible. "From my family, from someone who witnessed everything but chose to remain silent for many years. And now the stillness has broken. There are rumors that Annabel may have maintained letters or journals from those years. Some claim she wrote frequently to digest what she saw, but never planned to share them. Others say she is only speaking up because the weight has gotten unbearable. As one would expect, the palace is attempting to minimize the damage. No official statements have been issued, but beyond the gates, insiders say the Queen Consort is furious, not only because her image is under jeopardy, but also because the guilt she has long suppressed may suddenly be exposed by her own sister. Camilla has always seen Diana's memory as an inconvenient shadow that she has sought to cast off with titles, ceremonies, and smiles. But for Annabel, that shadow could have been a mirror, and in it, she discovers a truth too raw to ignore. "I loved her in my own way," she allegedly stated, "but I did not protect her. Neither of us did." If even a portion of that is accurate, it is a public reckoning, because the world never forgot Diana. The woman who remained silent until it was too late is now unable to speak. As the monarchy reels from Annabel Elliot's claimed revelations, one couple emerges not only uninjured, but stronger than ever. Prince William and Princess Catherine. While the House of Windsor appears divided behind closed doors, William and Kate have handled their public obligations with grace, resolution, and a quiet confidence that has not gone unnoticed. A shift is clearly underway, according to royal watchers. Camilla's legacy, which she worked so hard to construct over decades, is now being swamped by the future king and queen in waiting. Annabel's statements, as stunning as they were, merely confirmed what many people already suspected. Camilla's climb to prominence was based on ambition, manipulation, and cold calculation. In contrast, William and Kate's ascendancy has been characterized by duty, stability, and a strong emotional bond with the British people. They aren't changing the rules to benefit their bloodline. They are restoring public trust in a monarchy marred by scandal and history. Camilla craved control, whilst Kate embraced servitude. While Camilla's inner circle advocated for royal privileges for her grandchildren, causing controversy within palace gates, Kate has steadfastly maintained her family's emphasis on education, philanthropy, and modernizing royal appearances. Her refusal to indulge in petty royal power games has garnered her worldwide respect, something Camilla never truly attained. Insiders said Kate was greatly upset in private by Annabel's claimed statements, particularly those acknowledging Princess Diana's pain and the silence of those who stood by. Catherine has always been reserved in public, but those close to her say she feels a strong feeling of vindication, not for herself, but for Diana and the principles that William's mother upheld: compassion, vulnerability, and honesty. Kate has never needed to speak ill of anyone, a royal advisor stated. She does not have to. The contrast speaks for itself. The contrast has never been sharper than it is now. Behind the scenes, William is thought to be more guarded than ever about his wife and children, particularly Princess Charlotte. As speculation grows about Camilla's private goals and her family's role in palace politics, William is pressing down on securing a different kind of monarchy for his children, one that echoes Diana's legacy rather than Camilla's. In fact, many believe the entire institution is shifting away from Charles and Camilla's reign and into the future. Public support for William and Kate has increased in recent months, particularly since Charlotte earned her honorary title and began performing carefully planned public roles. In a moment of turbulence, they represent optimism, continuity, and dignity, all of which seem to be in short supply elsewhere in the royal household. And while Camilla's staff reportedly attempted to debunk the Annabel tale before it took hold, it was too late. The genie is out of the bottle. The queen consort's reputation, which was already frail, is now tarnished from within. Her greatest ally has transformed into a mirror, and the reflection is not kind. What about William and Kate? They emerged from the storm not only intact, but also elevated. As the monarchy struggles through each scandal, they remain unshaken. More significantly, they have acquired the public's trust, which even the monarch cannot demand. The legacy is evolving, not because of pronouncements or coronations, but due to contrast. Because in a royal family dominated by quiet and scandal, William and Kate represent a return to sincerity. And if the monarchy survives the storm that Annabel has unleashed, it will not be due to Camilla's influence. It will be because William and Kate remained firm in the face of adversity and shown that true monarchy does not need to shout, it simply leads. For years, Queen Camilla constructed an image of quiet resilience, of a lady who overcame controversy, public hate, and endless comparisons to Diana to emerge as King Charles's faithful supporter. That narrative, however, has now crumbled, and it wasn't a tabloid or a royal biographer who broke it. It was her sister. Annabel Elliot's decision to speak, whether gently or privately, has ended decades of carefully kept silence. What she showed was far more heartbreaking than any betrayal or secret, a portrait of Camilla crafted by someone who knows her best. Underneath the public image, a woman is motivated by control and ambition, rather than duty or grace. In only a few leaked phrases, Annabel has raised issues that the monarchy has long suppressed. How did Camilla rise so quickly in the aftermath of Diana's death? What price was paid for her crown? How many people chose quiet over conscience to make it happen? Now the stillness has been broken. Behind palace walls, the consequences are real. Tensions between Camilla and William are thought to be at an all-time high. Communication with Kate has supposedly ceased. And Charles, aging and tired, is divided between the woman he fought to legitimize and the family he must protect for the crown's future. The public, too, is paying notice. Camilla's support has fallen. Support for William and Kate has skyrocketed, and in the court of public opinion, which is now perhaps more powerful than any royal decree, the queen consort is no longer untouchable. Annabel may never speak in public again. She may refute the leaks or simply disappear. However, it no longer matters. The damage is done. The world has witnessed Camilla's crown fracture, and it came from the most unexpected source, her own blood, because under a monarchy, perception matters. And now, the carefully crafted picture of Queen Camilla has been revealed, not by scandal, not by enemies, but in truth, and there is no turning back.